Welcome to the Influencer Podcast, your go-to hub for influencer marketing, e-commerce, and affiliate strategies. Follow us to uncover success stories, expert advice, and practical insights to elevate your brand. This is the Influencer Podcast, your guide to mastering influence and transforming your business. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling a topic that's super relevant for anyone running a business.
Especially in the B2C SaaS and e-commerce space.
You're talking about loyalty, but not just customer loyalty.
Right.
We're also going to be digging into affiliate loyalty and how influencer marketing can be a real game changer for both.
It's a fascinating area, really.
So we've got a ton of research on this.
Yeah, some really interesting studies.
And our mission today is to break it all down.
Absolutely.
To figure out how you can use these insights to create a business where people don't just buy from you once.
Exactly.
They keep coming back for more. They tell their friends.
They become true fans.
All right, let's jump right in.
Sounds good.
Now, I know we hear all the time that it's cheaper to keep a customer.
Then to find a new one.
But the research we've got actually puts a pretty impressive number on that.
5 times cheaper.
5 times. So why is that?
Yeah.
What makes retaining customers so much more cost-effective than constantly chasing after new ones?
Well, think about all the effort that goes into acquiring a new customer.
Yeah, you've got your marketing campaigns,
Your advertising costs.
sales efforts, all of that.
Right. It's a significant upfront investment.
But once you've earned a customer's loyalty,
You already lay that foundation.
they already know you, they trust you.
They're more likely to buy again without you having to start from scratch every time.
It's like you've built that relationship,
Yeah,
and now you can just nurture it.
exactly.
And on top of that, loyal customers are more likely to become your biggest advocate.
They'll tell their friends, they'll leave positive reviews.
It's like word-of-mouth marketing on steroids.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's customer loyalty, but what about affiliate loyalty? How does that play into all of this?
Well, your affiliates are essentially an extension of your sales team.
They're out there spreading the word about your brand, bringing in new customers.
And just like with customers, building strong relationships with your affiliates can lead to long-term partnerships and a much more stable revenue stream.
So it's about building that trust and that mutual respect, showing them that you value their contribution.
Exactly.
Now, one thing that's really interesting is how the whole concept of loyalty can play out differently depending on whether you're in the SaaS world or the e-commerce world.
Right. It's definitely not one size fits all.
So let's break that down a little bit.
Okay.
With SaaS, you're dealing with subscriptions, so loyalty is all about keeping those users engaged and showing them that they're getting continuous value.
Think of it like your favorite streaming service.
Oh, yeah,
Why do you stay subscribed month after month?
because they're constantly adding new shows, new music, new features. They're keeping things fresh and exciting.
Exactly. And that's the kind of experience you want to create for your SaaS customers.
You want them to feel like they're getting so much value that canceling their subscription would be unthinkable.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense for SaaS, but what about e-commerce, where it's more about individual purchases rather than those ongoing subscriptions?
Right. Well, in e-commerce, loyalty is more about building brand preference.
So you want customers to automatically think of your brand when they need something.
Even if they're not interacting with you on a daily basis.
Like, think about the brands you always go back to for certain things.
Your go-to shoe brand, your favorite coffee, whatever it might be.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely my go-to clothing brand.
Go.
I know I can trust them for quality and style, so I don't even bother shopping around anymore.
That's brand loyalty in action.
And that's where influencer marketing can play a huge role.
Absolutely. Influencers can be incredibly powerful for building trust and preference.
Okay, so let's talk about influencers. So it's not just about getting our brand name out there, it's about using these influencers to build real connections with potential customers.
Exactly. People are bombarded with marketing messages all day long.
They can spot an ad a mile away.
But when they see someone they trust, someone they admire, recommending a product or service,
It's like a personal recommendation.
it carries a lot more weight.
And the research shows that these authentic influencer endorsements are way more effective than those generic ads.
People see them as genuine recommendations, not just marketing fluff.
It makes sense. We're more likely to trust someone who seems genuinely excited about something than someone who's just reading a script.
Absolute.
So how do we find the right influencers for our brand? I mean, do we just go for the ones with the biggest follower accounts?
Not necessarily.
It's not just about the numbers, right?
Right. You want to find influencers who genuinely align with your brand values.
And whose audience actually overlaps with your target market.
It wouldn't make sense to partner with an influencer who promotes fast fashion.
if you're selling sustainable clothing,
Exactly.
no matter how many followers they have.
It's about finding that sweet spot where their values, their audience, and your brand all come together.
So it's like a Venn diagram of awesomeness.
I like that.
And it's not just about the follower count, it's also about the quality of engagement.
All right, are people actively commenting on their posts, asking questions, sharing their own experiences?
That shows that they have a truly engaged community.
A community that could potentially become your community.
Okay, so I'm taking notes here. Shared values, audience alignment, and genuine engagement. Those are the key things to look for.
And don't forget about the difference between micro-influencers and macro-influencers.
Oh, yeah, good point. What's the key difference there, and how do we know which one is right for our brand?
Well, micro-influencers might have smaller followings,
Okay.
but they often have incredibly strong connections with their audiences.
They're seen as more relatable,
More authentic.
and their recommendations carry a lot of weight within their niche communities.
Exactly.
So if you're selling a specialized product or targeting a very specific demographic.
A micro-influencer who's deeply embedded in that community could be incredibly effective.
Makes sense.
And, research actually shows that the majority of brands prefer working with micro-influencers. Yeah, they see better results when it comes to authenticity and connecting with the right audience.
So it's not always about going for the biggest name.
Sometimes it's about finding the right fit.
Right. And then if you're looking to generate mass awareness or make a big splash,
Macro-influencers can be really powerful.
they have that huge reach.
They can introduce your brand to a much wider audience.
So if you're launching a new product or trying to break into a new market.
A macro-influencer could be a great way to make a big impact.
Okay, so we've found our perfect influencers. Shared values, audience alignment, strong engagement, check, check, check. But how do we keep them engaged? How do we turn that initial spark into a lasting, loyal partnership?
Well, that's where the real art of loyalty building comes in.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
And that's what we'll explore next.
Can't wait. Stay tuned.
Looking to connect with your audience and make your product go viral? Meet Ainfluencer.com, the end-to-end marketplace that connects you with over 1 million Instagram and TikTok influencers for free. With no subscriptions or fees, Ainfluencer.com makes it easy to find the perfect collaboration partners for your brand instantly. Its AI-powered system does the heavy lifting, matching you with influencers based on niche demographics, past performance, and engagement. Start your campaign directly from your Ainfluencer dashboard or your Shopify store in seconds. Manage everything from inviting influencers and negotiating deals to secure payments and performance analytics all in one place. Handle influencer-curated lists, affiliate marketing, and content creation, even translated into 200+ languages, all without paying any platform fees. Unlimited use, forever free. Visit Ainfluencer.com today and take your brand to the next level.
Okay, so we've done the groundwork. We found those awesome influencers that really resonate with our brand. Now, what about making those connections last? Turning them into those long-term, loyal relationships. How do we even get started with that?
Well, I think one of the best strategies for building loyalty with both customers and affiliates is personalization.
Personalization, yeah. I feel like that's a big buzzword these days, but I think a lot of people still think it's just about like putting someone's name in an email subject line.
Right.
But it's got to be way deeper than that, right?
Absolutely. True personalization is about recognizing that your audience isn't just one big blob of people.
Right.
It's about understanding that there are individuals with their own unique needs,
Yeah.
preferences, and motivations.
Yeah.
And the more you can tailor your approach to those individual needs, the more likely you are to build that lasting loyalty.
And the research really backs this up. Like, there was a study that found that 77% of consumers, that's a huge number.
Wow.
They actually prefer brands that offer personalized experiences.
Makes sense.
So it's not just nice to have, it's something people are actively looking for.
They want to feel seen.
Yeah.
They want to feel understood.
I mean, think about it from your own perspective. If you're just constantly bombarded with generic marketing messages, it's easy to just tune them out.
Yeah, you just kind of glaze over.
But when a brand takes the time to understand your interests, to tailor their communication,
It makes you feel special.
it makes you feel valued, yeah.
Absolutely.
So how do we actually do this? Like, how do we put personalization into practice? Do you have any examples of brands that are just killing it in this area?
Oh, there are so many creative ways to personalize the customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
In the e-commerce world, for example, you could use data on past purchases
Mm-hmm.
and browsing behavior to recommend products that they might actually like. Or you could send personalized style guides based on someone's indicated preferences.
Oh, that's a good idea. And for sauce companies, I imagine personalization is even more powerful because you have so much data on how users are interacting with your product.
Oh, absolutely. You can tailor onboarding tutorials to match a user's skill level,
Okay.
suggest relevant features based on their usage patterns, or
Yeah.
even send personalized progress reports to keep them motivated and engaged.
That's cool. It makes them feel like the product's designed just for them,
Exactly.
which is incredibly powerful.
It is.
Okay, so personalization, that's a big one.
Uh-huh.
What else can we do to nurture those loyal relationships?
Well, another really powerful tactic is community building.
Community building, okay.
It's about creating a space where your customers and affiliates can connect with each other, share their experiences, and feel like they're part of something bigger than just a brand.
I love that. Turning your brand into something more than just a product or a service. It's like building a tribe, a community of people who share a common interest or passion.
Exactly. And research shows that brands with strong communities see a huge boost in trust and loyalty.
It makes sense.
People are much more likely to stick with a brand they feel connected to.
A brand that feels like more than just a faceless corporation. So, what are some practical ways to actually build a strong community around our brand? Like, I love the idea, but it feels a little, I don't know, amorphous.
Yeah, I get it.
What are some concrete steps that we can take?
There are tons of ways to do this. You could create a dedicated online forum
Oh, yeah.
where customers can connect, chat with each other, ask questions, share tips.
Hmm.
You could host events, online or offline events,
Oh, that's a good word.
run contests and giveaways,
Uh-huh.
or even just actively engage with your followers on social media,
Right.
just showing that you're there, that you're listening.
It's about creating those opportunities for interaction, making people feel like their voices are heard.
Exactly.
And what about user-generated content?
Oh, that's a great point.
UGC, that's like gold.
It is.
When your customers are creating content about your brand, it's like having an army of brand ambassadors out there.
It's the best kind of marketing.
Way more persuasive than anything you could say about your own brand.
Like a trusted friend recommending something. And encouraging UGC doesn't have to be complicated. You could create branded hashtags, run contests that incentivize content creation, or even just repost customer photos and testimonials.
I love that. Like, give those customer voices a platform.
Absolutely.
And show the world how much people are loving your brand.
And don't forget to respond to UGC.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
When someone takes the time to create content about your brand, acknowledge them, thank them, show them you're listening.
It's like building that two-way relationship.
Yeah, making people feel like they're part of a conversation.
You're not just shouting into the void.
Exactly. And studies have actually shown that when brands actively engage with user-generated content, customer loyalty can increase by up to 33%.
Wow, that's huge.
It's a pretty compelling reason to make UGC a central part of your strategy.
Okay, so personalization, community building, check and check. What else can we add to our loyalty toolbox?
We can't forget about incentive programs.
Incentives. Everyone loves a good deal, right?
Oh.
But I feel like there's a fine line between creating a program that feels genuinely rewarding and one that just feels kind of gimmicky or manipulative.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about throwing discounts around. It's about creating a program that really resonates with your customers.
Right.
And makes them feel valued for their loyalty.
And research shows that loyalty programs can have a massive impact on retention.
Oh, yeah.
There was a study that found that 84% of consumers are more likely to stick with brands that have loyalty programs. So it's not just about warm and fuzzy feelings, it's about real business results.
Absolutely.
And loyalty programs can take so many different forms.
Yeah, you could have a classic point-based system
Okay.
where customers earn points for purchases and redeem them for rewards.
Hmm.
Or you could have a tiered VIP program with exclusive perks for your most loyal customers.
Oh, I love TEAD programs. It creates that sense of exclusivity.
Yeah.
It makes people feel like they're working towards something special.
Exactly, and you can get really creative with the rewards. It's not always about discounts or free products. You could offer early access to new features, exclusive content, or even experiences like VIP events or meet and greets with brand ambassadors.
Ooh, I like that, thinking outside the box a little bit.
Exactly.
Offering rewards that really align with your target audience's interests and aspirations.
Absolutely.
And don't forget about your affiliates.
Right.
Incentive programs can be just as effective for building affiliate loyalty.
You could have tiered commission structures,
Okay.
performance-based bonuses, or even exclusive perks like early access to new products or co-branded marketing materials.
It's about treating your affiliates like the valued partners they are.
Yeah, making them feel like part of the team.
Exactly. And when your affiliates feel valued and appreciated, they're going to be so much more enthusiastic about promoting your brand and more likely to stick with you for the long haul.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about personalization, community building, and incentive programs. Are we missing anything? Is there a secret ingredient that ties all of this together?
Well, all of these strategies are incredibly important, but there's one crucial element that can really make or break your entire loyalty building efforts.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. What is it?
Customer support.
Customer support. Ah, okay. I see where you're going with this. It's often seen as just like a cost center, something you have to do,
Right.
but not necessarily something that's strategic. But you're saying it's actually a key driver of loyalty?
Absolutely. Exceptional customer support is about so much more than just resolving issues.
Okay.
It's about creating a positive, seamless experience for your customers at every touch point. It's about making them feel heard, understood, and valued.
And the research supports this. There was a study that found that
Aye.
86% of consumers are actually willing to pay more
Wow.
for a better customer experience.
That's huge.
So it's not just like a nice to have.
It's a priority.
People are willing to put their money where their mouth is when it comes to good service.
Absolutely.
Makes sense, though. Think about it.
Yeah.
When you have a frustrating experience with a company, it's so easy to just write them off, never look back.
Yeah, you just move on.
But when you have a positive experience, when you feel like someone's gone above and beyond to help you, it creates this sense of loyalty and trust that's hard to break.
It really does.
So it's not just about fixing problems, it's about creating positive emotional connections.
Exactly.
And think about this. When a company handles an issue well, it can actually strengthen your loyalty.
It can.
Because you see that they care, they take your concerns seriously,
Absolutely.
and that builds trust and confidence.
It does.
But it's not about being perfect.
Good
It's about
job.
being responsive, being empathetic, and genuinely wanting to make things right.
And that's where having a smooth onboarding process,
Okay.
clear communication, and easily accessible support channels becomes so important.
Whether it's live chat,
Email support.
a knowledge base, make sure your customers feel supported every step of the way.
Exactly. And I think proactive customer success initiatives can play a big role here too.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more about that.
Things like personalized onboarding tutorials,
Okay.
proactive outreach to make sure customers are happy, or even just helpful tips and resources sent via email can really make a difference.
So it's about going beyond just reacting to problems. It's about actively working to help customers succeed.
Exactly.
And I imagine feedback is crucial here.
Oh, absolutely.
Like regularly asking your customers for their input on how you can improve.
Yeah, surveys, polls, social media listening, direct outreach. There are so many ways to gather those valuable insights.
It's about showing them that you're listening, that you care about their experience, and that you're constantly striving to improve.
And when you actually act on that feedback, when you make improvements based on what your customers are telling you, it creates this really powerful cycle of trust and loyalty.
It shows that you're not just collecting feedback for the sake of it. You're actually using it to make their experience better.
Exactly. Customers see that you're responsive to their needs, and that makes them even more likely to stick around.
So we've talked about personalization, community building, incentive programs, and this critical role of customer support. But how do we actually know if all of this is working?
That's where data analysis comes in.
Ah, data, our favorite.
We need to measure what matters and use those insights to constantly optimize our loyalty building strategies.
Okay, so we're putting on our data scientist hats again. What are the key metrics that we should be tracking to see if our loyalty efforts are actually paying off?
There are a ton of key performance indicators, those KPIs we always hear about.
Right.
That can give you a really clear picture of how loyal your customers and affiliates are.
Okay, break it down for me. Which metrics should we really be focusing on?
Well, first off, you've got your retention rate.
Retention rate, okay.
This tells you how many of your customers are sticking around over a certain period of time.
So basically, are people coming back for more? Are they renewing their subscriptions, making those repeat purchases?
Exactly. A high retention rate means you're not just attracting customers, you're actually keeping them happy.
You're keeping them engaged.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, you've got your churn rate, right?
Churn rate tells you how many customers you're losing.
So if we're seeing a high churn rate, that could be a sign that something's off. Maybe the product's not quite right.
Yeah, maybe the pricing needs adjustment, or maybe the whole customer experience needs some work.
Okay, got it. So retention rate, churn rate, what else?
Another important metric is your repeat purchase rate.
Repeat purchase rate.
This tells you how often customers are coming back to buy again.
So a high repeat purchase rate means people aren't just making a one-time purchase, they're actually becoming loyal fans of the brand.
Exactly. They like what they see, and they keep coming back for more.
And then there's customer lifetime value.
CLV, yeah, this is a big one.
So CLV basically measures how much revenue you can expect to make from a single customer
Over the entire time they're doing business with you.
So if you have a high CLV, it means you're building those long-term relationships.
The kind that generate revenue over time, not just a quick buck.
And loyal customers tend to have a higher lifetime value because they stick around longer, they buy more often, and they're more likely to recommend your brand to their friends.
It's a win-win.
Okay, so we've got retention rate, repeat purchase rate, CLV. What other metrics should we be looking at?
Well, don't forget about engagement metrics.
Engagement metrics.
These can give you a really good sense of how much your audience is actually interacting with your brand.
So we're talking social media engagement, website traffic, email open rates, event attendance, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Anything that shows how much people are engaging with your content, your brand, your message.
If people are liking, commenting, sharing, clicking, visiting, attending, it's a good sign.
It means they're interested, they're invested, they're paying attention.
It's like taking the pulse of your audience.
I like that analogy.
And then there's the classic Net Promoter Score, NPS.
Yes, the would you recommend us to a friend question.
So if you have a high NPS, it means people are not only happy with your brand, they're actually excited enough to tell other people about it.
They're your biggest fans.
Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of metrics to track, but what do we actually do with all this data? How do we use it to actually improve our loyalty building strategy?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right, because data without action is pretty useless.
It is. We need to turn these insights into real, tangible improvements.
So it's not just about collecting data, it's about using it to make better decisions, to constantly refine our approach.
Exactly. For example, you might find that a certain influencer campaign is bringing in a ton of new customers.
Okay.
But then their retention rate is really low.
So it's like a leaky bucket, you're pouring in new customers, but they're not sticking around.
Exactly. That would be a sign to take a closer look, figure out why those customers aren't staying.
Maybe the influencer's audience wasn't the right fit for the brand, or maybe the onboarding process was too confusing.
It could be any number of things.
So we use the data to find those weak spots and then adjust our strategy.
Exactly. You can also use data to test different approaches.
Oh yeah, A/B testing, right.
Exactly. Maybe you tried 2 different incentive programs and see which one performs better.
Or 2 different types of influencer content.
It's all about experimentation, finding what works best for your brand.
It's like a science experiment, but for business.
I love that.
And building loyalty. This isn't a one-time thing, right?
No, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's an ongoing process.
Of learning, adapting, and constantly improving.
So we need to create a feedback loop with our customers and our affiliates, right?
Absolutely. Ask them for their input. Find out how you can make their experience better.
Use surveys, polls, social media listening, direct outreach, whatever it takes to gather those valuable insights.
And when you act on that feedback, when you make those changes based on what they're telling you, it builds trust, it builds loyalty, it shows that you're truly listening.
It shows that you care.
Exactly. And customers see that. They appreciate that.
So it's a cycle of continuous improvement.
Always learning, always evolving, always striving to be better.
I love that. It's not about achieving some perfect state of loyalty. It's about embracing the journey.
And at the end of the day, it's those loyal, long-term relationships that are going to fuel your business growth.
Wow, we've covered so much ground today. We talked about the different aspects of loyalty, the power of influencer marketing, and the importance of data-driven optimization.
It's been a great discussion.
It really has. And I hope our listeners are walking away feeling inspired and ready to build those lasting, loyal relationships that are going to help their businesses thrive.
I hope so too.
As we wrap up, I have one final question for you. If our listeners could just take one small step today to start building more loyalty, what would you recommend?
That's a tough one. But if I had to pick just one thing, I'd say reach out to a past customer.
Okay.
Just ask them how their experience has been since they last interacted with your brand.
That is so simple, but so powerful. It shows that you care.
Exactly. You might be surprised by the insights you get.
Or brainstorm a few ways to make your loyalty program more exciting. Or spend a few minutes researching an influencer who really aligns with your values and your audience.
Little actions can make a big difference over time.
And remember, building loyalty is a journey, not a destination.
It's about constantly striving to create the best possible experience for your customers and your partners.
And ultimately, it's about building a brand that people truly love, a brand that they trust, a brand that they want to be a part of.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's a wrap on this deep dive into loyalty. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of business and marketing.
Are you an Amazon seller dreaming of explosive sales growth? Tired of struggling to reach new customers? You're not alone. Scaling your Amazon business can be tough, but what if there was a secret weapon? Introducing AlgoRift, the all-in-one Amazon affiliate platform that connects you with over 100,000 eager affiliates ready to promote your products across the web. Imagine this: a massive army of influencers and content creators, all working to drive traffic and sales directly to your Amazon listings. With AlgoRift, this dream becomes a reality. AlgoRift simplifies the entire Amazon affiliate marketing process. Simply connect your Amazon account, sync your products, and set your personalized commission rates. Then invite top-notch affiliates to join your program, all within the AlgoRift platform. No more messy spreadsheets, complicated tracking links, or juggling multiple platforms. AlgoRift.ai handles it all. You can chat directly with your affiliates, negotiate personalized commissions, and manage all your payments in one convenient place. Ready to maximize the power of affiliate marketing? Visit AlgoRift.ai today and claim your free trial. AlgoRift.ai. Connect, collaborate, conquer.